Hello there and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. My name is Daphne. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to be tackling one of the most largest projects I think that I've ever done. It is going to be in multiple parts. What I'm going to be doing is working on the actual slope. This is a rock garden bed that I've sort of worked on before, but I've never really done exactly what I wanted to. I have worked on the retainer wall, which I'm going to be sharing that complete makeover at the end of this video in its entirety, its evolution over 3 years. But before we can get to that, I have to focus in on the actual rock garden. So I'm going to pop up what my inspiration is for revamping this bed with you. I've shared it in the past, but I just want to reshare it now so that you can understand my vision for this project. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video and I hope that you find some inspiration. If you did, while you're watching the video, get some inspiration, make sure that you leave me a plant emoji. This is very important for my channel. It lets YouTube know that you're enjoying the video and it's going to push it out to more viewers that will enjoy it just like you. So I thank you and I look forward to seeing all those plant emojis in the comment section. So now that you have an idea of what my inspiration was, now you'll understand what I plan on accomplishing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and I'm going to remove all of the plants that are in the bed right now, the majority of them that I know that I'm not going to be leaving here or relocating in this bed. So the first plants that I was thinking that I would try to remove was the coral bell, but they were a little hard at that time to be able to remove. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to remove the rocks first so that I can loosen up the soil and be able to go in with a shovel and be able to remove all of those plants. Now it's funny, I've been in the home for about 15 years and I have never tried to remove any of these rocks before. But once I started removing them, I realized they're very easy in the most part to be able to remove. Now there are some that are really, embedded in this slope, but a lot of them are very easy to remove. So what I'm doing is I'm going around and I'm checking in different locations which rocks are easy to remove. If they're relatively easy with little effort, I'm removing them now. I'm corralling them all at the bottom down here, and then we're going to see what the next step is. I wanted to share with you guys, in October, I resigned from my fashion industry career, and I'm taking some time off, and I have YouTube as my main source of income. So I am trying to be a full-time content creator. So if you're able to share the video so that it can get more exposure on YouTube, I would be greatly appreciated. And also leave a comment down below so that the video can get pushed out to new viewers. So thanks so much, guys. So leave me a comment down below and let me know, do you have any areas that are similar to this? Or would you be interested in adding in a rock garden? It doesn't have to be on a slope. It can be on just a flat surface. Towards my back pathway, I definitely have some large boulders that I've shared with you guys, where I added in salvia this year. I also have coral, and it's also flanked with large hosta. So I'm going to pop up some footage here in case this is the first time that you're by on my channel and you're not familiar with that pathway, it definitely is an idea of what you can tuck into a small area in your landscape. I'm also going to have my LTK shop, like to know it, inside of the description in case you want to shop any of the products that you might see today. LTK is a great platform for me to be able to link multiple brands in one location. I'm also going to have my Amazon storefront and also my Lowe storefront in case you want to stop by those storefronts as well. Either way, thank you so much for your support here, and I would love to see you over on those platforms as well. One of the things that I've always disliked about this slope is after spring, once everything has bloomed out, because there are tons and tons of muscari bulbs that are scattered throughout this slope. And when they're in bloom, they're pretty, but when they're out of bloom, they are a mangy mess for the majority of the year. So I'm taking the time to remove as many of those blooms, those bulbs as possible. And once I get everything removed, I'm going to go in either with cardboard or I'm going to go in with some landscape fabric to be able to suppress any of the bulbs that are still left there. And I'm going to make sure that I strategically add back in the stone so that I'm able to nestle my plants so that they look like they're just growing out of each of the rocks. And I think that it's going to look really pretty. I'm also going to add in mulch and just distribute the color and just really have a formal rock garden. So I know that you guys are going to love it. I'm definitely going to love it. It's definitely what I've wanted for a long time. So I'm just taking the time to remove all of these mangy plants. I don't even know if I added in this grass or if it was here when I moved in, but it does nothing for this space. I don't even know if it is just an offcast of maybe some seeds that were seeded somewhere or if it actually is a plant. But either way, I'm removing it. At this point, it started to rain and it's pretty much going to be drizzling or a little light, heavier rain for the majority of the day. So I'm trying to be as productive as possible. So what I decided was I was going to move all of the rocks that I had accumulated towards the bottom retainer wall up onto the actual surface, the grass area that's right above the slope, because this project obviously is going to be extending into an additional day and I don't want any of my neighbors that might be walking down the sidewalk, to accidentally, stumble over some of the material that I'm working on. So I'm making sure that I'm securing the job site. So I'm moving all of that up top. And then we're also going to rinse off those stones because I want to make sure that when I put them back that they really are able to shine and really be a focal point in the landscape. So I'm also going to move the tarp up there. I'm going to move all of my tools that I'm working on. And I think I'm gonna head to Lowe's. I want to pick up some lawn leaf bags, and I also want to pick up a couple of additional plants that I plan on adding here. So I'm really going in with my pickaxe at this point to just really be able to get all of those bulbs that are embedded in the ground here. So leave me a comment. Please feel comfortable with leaving your suggestions as to how you would plant up the space. I know that I got a lot of recommendations from you guys in the past when I've asked for it. I definitely am going to be keeping some of these hostas, separating them and dispersing them throughout the slope. I'm going to be keeping the phlox, but I'm definitely going to be paring back the phlox that is at the bottom. There's about 3 clusters of phlox, so I definitely am going to be making them into smaller groupings, maybe 6. And I basically want to have the stones be as a step or a faux rock garden river that's going to cascade down the slope. So I'm going to be adding in some small hostas, some large hostas, some phlox. I also picked up some sedum, and I'm going to be adding in some of the salvia that we winter sowed. They are amazing. And I'm also going to be adding in a couple of the salvia, the same as we added into the walkway. So it's going to be a variety of plants, but it's going to be absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to get to that portion of this makeover. But we are just going to continue on removing all of the plants, and then we're going to be moving to the next step. Now that I was able to remove all of those rocks that were sitting below these corbel, I'm going to be able to remove them. And now I realize why they have always struggled on this slope is because they really weren't embedded fully into the soil. They had too much rock around it, and these plants are not suited for this area. I think that sedum, hostas, and I definitely know that the salvia will thrive in this type of environment. So we're relocating those corbel to another area in the garden. I'm not sure if I'm going to pot them up and then move them, like rehab them and then move them into another spot, or if I'm just going to put them into the front bed for now. But at this time, we're moving over to removing a lot of this grass that has spilled over into the slope. So we're just going to knock it down with our weed whacker, and then we're going to suppress it later on in the process. So the last thing that we're going to be doing on this day is I wanted to just see how I'm able to clean up the stones. As you can see, I added them up top. We're just going to be using some Dawn dish soap, and I'm going to be using the garden hose to just rinse them off. And it is raining at this time, so the rain is also going to clean them up as well. But I definitely wanted to see, because there's a beautiful variation in the stones, and I think they're going to look amazing in the landscape. So we're going to be moving on to looking back at the makeover that I shared previously of the slope. So if you've already watched the makeover, you can definitely rewatch it. It is going to be a complete 3-year process of this makeover, so I hope that you enjoy it. So I just wanted to share with you the way that our front looked back in 2021. We had some trees removed, which was causing a lot of damage in the front of our house. And while doing so, it created a larger problem for us where we had to find a solution for the front edging. So after weeks of me trying to find inspiration and trying to figure out what I was going to do, I came up with a plan. So this is exactly what I was trying to fix. So what I decided was I was going to put in a stone edging. So I went to Lowe's and I picked up these stone pavers. Now this is the first step towards the final reveal, which you saw the sneak peek to in the beginning of the video. So after figuring out what I was going to be doing, which is the stone edging, I grabbed my favorite tool, which is this edger and trencher. This is a lifesaver. It was able to remove all of the overgrown grass that was hanging over on the sidewalk. So I'm just going in and I'm making a nice cut. This machine is very powerful, so I try to make sure that I go slowly because this grass has been growing for years, so the roots are very thick. Now, I'm always curious to know what you would have done. So leave me a comment down below and let me know if you would have opted for stone edging or if you would have selected or done something totally different. So leave me a comment down below. So once I was able to loosen up the earth, I went in with this pickaxe, which, yes, I have a pickaxe. I have a lot of tools that I've accumulated over the years with doing so many projects. So I'm loosening up the earth so that I can remove it and make a nice deep trench so that I can add in the stone edging. So now that I'm able to have a nice trench, I'm just laying out all of the stone so I can make sure of the layout to see if I need to make any cuts at the start or finish of the run, because they will have two return stone edges where just by chance I have two full stones that will make its way to the return, so I don't have to make any cuts at this end. So now I'm just going in and doing a dry fit. So this is where we're at. I've already went through and I've added in the mortar, but I realized the next day that in some cases the mortar didn't stick as well as I needed it to. So I'm just going through and I'm making another mix of the mortar. So I realized there's like maybe 3 stones that are not as secure as they should be. And the reason why is because originally I was using this Secrete concrete, and then I moved over to using mortar. So the mortar is what is really working well with these stone edges. So now I'm just mixing up the mortar, and I'm going to go back in and I'm going to put additional mortar to secure all of those stones that are a little loose. Now, in addition to having a mortar bed underneath the edging, I'm also backfilling with a little of the mortar. So you just put it, put a nice amount inside of the back side of the stone, and then you smooth it out to make contact with the stone. This is going to help so that it gives it a little more stability once all of the soil is leveled out. Okay, so now that I have the stone edging all complete, now I'm going to be leveling out this bottom portion, which originally had grass. So we're removing all of the grass and we're going to be doing a barrier. Now, I realized while I was doing this project that I had loaned out my landscaping fabric. So I used the next best thing, which is plastic bags. I cut them up to the appropriate size, and I'm going to be laying that down and then also putting a layer of mulch on the top. I hope that by watching this project, it gives you the confidence to be able to tackle a project like this in your own home. It actually is not very difficult to be able to do. It's really easy, and it gives you the sweat equity in your property that you need so that you don't have to hire every project out to a professional. You can be able to accomplish a project like this on your own. And I'm so happy with the results. I think that it makes the front of my landscape look much more polished and pulled together. So I am so happy that we had this little ordeal with the sidewalk because the end result is absolutely beautiful. So for the next year and a half, this is how the front slopes look, and we actually really loved it. But shortly after about a year and a half, we got the itch to make some changes. So this morning we're out early. We're just taking a look at where we left off last week after we cleaned these two front beds, removed all the weeds and everything. So this is where we were last week when we started, just to refresh your memory if you haven't watched. And we're gonna head to the plant store. So we took a quick trip to Lowe's, and they have beautiful fall color. So I'm just going to let you guys enjoy, see what's out, and then later I'm going to review everything that we picked up for the front slope. So we just picked up a couple of plants for the slope because I want to make sure that I vary the type of plants that I put out here and not only have, spring, summer blooming. I wanted to make sure that I got some fall interest. You want to make sure that you have winter interest as well. So the first plant that I picked up is this Corabelle Heuchera from Proven Winners. I'm going to put the names of the plants up on the screen so that you can, get a better look. This is a Black Pearl Heuchera, which is from Proven Winners. Here's all the specs. I like these two plants because they're both sun and shade. And on this rock wall, the light source has changed since the trees were cut back. So I'm still, trying to get a feel for the amount of sun, that is there. And then the last plant that I had got was the Gora, I believe that's how you pronounce it. And I like that plant because it is drought tolerant. And already with the Corabelle or Heuchera, I already know that they can be on the drought tolerant side as well, because I'm growing that in a lot of different areas in my property already. So I know that that will do well. Hopefully at the bottom of this slope, I'll be able to have it thrive there as well. But while I was working in the front, I went in the back and I noticed these two plants actually the other week, and I did a scan on Plantain, which is a free app, and I found out that these are not weeds, that they actually are autumn clematis. And so I'm going to take these and I'm going to try them out on the rock wall as well. And hopefully with watering and a little time for it to reroot in the front, we'll have success with these plants. Either way, they were voluntary because I did not plant them. They just came up in this area. So either way, if they make it or not, we'll have fun with it.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. So loud as the hours pass, we're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be.
So I decided that I was going to take a chance with fate and I was going to divide this Heuchera straight out of the bucket. I know that this is not recommended, but gardening is trial and error, so I'm taking a chance. I'm going to divide it and we're going to see what happens. If it survives, I know that it can be done, and if it doesn't, I'll just replace it. But the fun in gardening is just trying, making mistakes, and learning from them. So, wish me luck.
And we'll stay on forever. We'll never have regrets. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shot from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. We're gonna be. We're gonna be two hearts running wild.
So if you've been around for a while, you know that I installed this paver edge last summer, but I realized over this past year that I needed to increase the layer of the stone. So after I clean up here, tomorrow we're going to head to Lowe's and I'm going to pick up some more stones, and we're going to add a higher layer so that when we add back the mulch won't come into the walkway. It'll just be held back by the extra layer of stones.
Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby, and twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just twist your body and mine. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time.
So for now, we're just going to do a dry set here. Last year, the bottom layer, we actually concreted in, but I don't think that I need to do like any concrete or adhesive for this layer. So we're just gonna quickly lay these down, and then we're gonna come in with a little mulch, and then we're all done.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're chilling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, oh,
So this is only the beginning to this slope. We are going to nurse these plants back and they're going to bounce back, and come spring, we are going to have an amazing show.
Our hearts beat to the city.
So we enjoyed this view of the slope for over a year. And then this past year in 2024, we expanded on our original plan.
Chemicals that take us higher. The night's young, and it's just begun. As she puts her hand in mine.
So we are at the very front of my property, right at the sidewalk. We have two slopes. We're going to be focusing in on this slope for this video. Now, over the past several years, I have been contending with a slope that has been eroding onto the sidewalk. Now, this problem occurred a couple of years ago when we had some trees removed. The roots were popping up the walkway, and then the grass was disturbed. I'm going to pop up images of what, if I can find them, of what this looks like originally. If I'm not able to share it here, I'll try to share it in the community tab. But there used to be a patch of grass where all of the rocks are, and the grass was keeping the soil from eroding down onto the sidewalk. But when they had to lift up the sidewalk to be able to repair it, if you see all of the white, the lighter color pathway, that's all new concrete. So I had to come up with a plan of how I was going to be able to fix it. So my first attempt was just the paver stones that I had attached in one soldier's course around the bottom of the slope. Now that lasted for about 2 years. This is the second year. And I had different variations. Originally I had mulch, and then earlier in this year I put the Mexican pebble stones there, and still it definitely wasn't doing the job because it's too low. We have a huge slope, so we need to figure it out. So over the past month or so, I've been trying to figure out like what I wanted to do. So I picked up these blocks from Home Depot, and I want to use the original base that I put down, but I want to be able to figure out how I can stack these stones on top of it, make it look aesthetically pleasing, leveled, and all of the good things. So that's what you're going to see me doing in this video. So before we can continue on, I have to relocate these two Corbel. They're from Proven Winners, and one is a black pearl and the other one is a wild berry. And they're beautiful. They're just not in the right location to be able to thrive. So you've seen me plant them already. I planted them in the fall front porch makeover. So this is where those plants were originally. So this is my first attempt. I'm just trying to get a feel as to how everything is going to look once it's all laid out. This is just a dry fit. You're going to see me do this several times. And ultimately, I decided on the technique that I'm going to be using for this project. Now, if you are a mason or a professional, please take what I am doing with a grain of salt. I am a DIY beginner and I'm just trying to figure this out. I think that what I was able to accomplish in this project looks really nice. I'm still debating if I'm going to keep it that way, but let me know in the comment section what you think, what suggestions you have, because I do have a whole nother side that I need to do that I'm open to doing a different type of technique. What I was thinking was I would not use the little pavers. I would just dig all the way down and start with the block at the lowest level. And then I would do 2 courses on the block and then just a cap at the top. So I'm still debating on that, but I think that might be the way that I'll go on the other side. So now that we repaired this section, so now we're gonna just start continuing on the dry fit. I already know that I need to dig out the back portion so that the stones can lay true front to back. So I have my level out so I can see how much I need to make adjustments. So I'm adjusting from left to right and then front to back. And they're off a lot. You can see how they're like dipping down in the front. So we definitely have to remove all of the stone, and we definitely have to dig it out. Now, originally I was gonna, dig with a large shovel, but this space is really small, so I'm just using my hand-held trowel to just be able to dig the earth. But before I can do that, I need to remove all of these Mexican stone pebbles, which are beautiful, and we're going to use them in another area.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're chilling when the rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, 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 to the city streets, we began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. The laugh so loud as the hours pass.
So during this attempt, what I'm doing is I'm using paver, like gravel. I think it's called multi-purpose gravel. So I'm using this to be able to level the blocks. I decided that I was going to do a combination of this plus paver sand, which you'll see in the next attempt, to be able to get this leveled. But I left all of this in because I think it's very helpful to be able to show like what I went through, the process, the steps, to be able to come to the final project. And again, it is not perfect. I'm not a professional, but it is what I'm able to accomplish with the materials and equipment that I have, which is nothing.
The moonlight, summer sky, it was the best we ever had.
So this is the end of the night. I ran and I picked up some topping stones so that the top will look very finished. It won't, you won't be able to see the gaps. So I'm just doing a dry fit here so that I can see how everything is going to look. So this is the next day. So I wanted to give you an update on how the mums are doing. So when I did my front porch makeover, the bulbs, the flower buds were just like very tight. And I told you guys that they were pink and that they were going to be beautiful. So over the past 2 weeks, they definitely have been opening up. There are tons of buds on these mums and they look absolutely beautiful. So I wanted to share that with you before we headed back down to the front and continued on. So this is how the wall is looking. I just like dry fit. I put all the caps on. Everything is very level, but I'm having second thoughts. I had also picked up some sand and I just wanted to just take everything down. I know, I spent a lot of time leveling it, but I just wanted to try incorporating paver sand with the gravel and see how I like that. So that's what we're gonna do. So would you guys ever take on a project like this? At first, I was very intimidated, but after doing it and, doing several attempts and thinking about the process itself, it's really not that hard. What is hard and what I am sort of intimidated is the cuts. Now I know that I need to make cuts along the edges to be able to get it to look a little more professional, but you have to rent like a large hydraulic cutter to be able to cut through these large stones. And I'm debating if I am going to build up the confidence to be able to do that. So if you have any suggestions or techniques, please leave them in the comments. I definitely would love to read them and learn from them. So thanks, guys.
my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby, and twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just twist your body and mine. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain.
So I'm just adding in all of the extra gravel bags that I had purchased. This is just going to give the wall good drainage behind it and then also add stability.
You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak my mind. Oh.
So now that we have the wall almost completed, I'm just going in and I'm cleaning off the slope. A lot of these plants have, you know, we're towards the end of the season. We're already into October, into fall. So most of these plants have already bloomed out and they're dying back, you know, for the season. So I'm cleaning up the ground cover, you know, that spills over the side of the wall. And then I'm also going to be cleaning up the grasses and then also cutting back the hosta and just making everything look a little nicer for the season. It's not going to be lush because, you know, these plants thrive more in the spring and the summer, but we're going to make it look as nice as possible with taking off all of the dead foliage.
You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, 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 oh,
I want to thank you so much for joining me today in part one of the slope makeover, and then also the look back over the many changes that we've done to the front edging. I hope that you found some inspiration in the video, and I look forward to being able to share part two of the slope makeover on this Sunday. So until the next time, have a blessed day.